Good morning. I've called you here today to let you know that Chicago teachers and paraprofessionals are fed up. They're tired of being blamed, bullied, and belittled by the very district that should support them. We live in a city that no longer trusts educators as important resources in helping our youth to develop values, skills, and knowledge required for them to enter adult life as thinking and engaged citizens. We live in a city that has done everything it can to take the joy out of teaching and learning. Teachers in Chicago are being de-skilled, unceremoniously removed from the process of school governance, and reduced to technicians and babysitters. We're being asked to work harder and longer in order to further inflict upon our students mindless experiment after mindless experiment. The school district, however, calls these experiments reform. And when their experiments fail, it is the teacher who is blamed and evaluated. Next year, all schools move to longer school days and longer school year without any commitment from the district to give students and teachers the resources they need. The board won't even explain to the public how it will pay for a longer school day and school year, and how it will fund the hiring of art, music, world language, PE teachers, who are desperately needed to help provide our students with the type of education they deserve. Instead, what the board has said is it wants to lengthen the school year, cut professional development days, decrease pay and benefit, and evaluate teachers based on test scores. More of the status quo. This has led teachers at a number of Chicago public schools to conduct internal polling to test the pro-strike sentiment in their schools. In those schools that have conducted this polling, teachers and paraprofessionals there have voted overwhelmingly to strike should contract negotiations fail and CPS and the mayor does not reverse the hostile climate against us. Their polling also indicates no confidence in the way CPS continues to enforce its top-down, misguided policies throughout our school system. Any talk, this is what CPS has said, according to the Tribune, so we're quoting from a quote. Any talk of holding a strike or mock strike votes at this early stage of contract negotiations is a disservice to our children, parents, and families, and only diverts our energies away from focusing on our students and boosting their achievement in the classroom, Becky Carroll said. How disingenuous. Let me tell you what the real disservice to our children, parents, and family really is. Shutting down schools despite pleas and testimonies of hundreds of parents and students and community leaders who say they were never given the resources to help their schools get off of probation in the first place. A real disservice is calling parent voice noise and board members walking out of board chambers when the noise gets too loud. Reducing report card pickup to only 3 hours, forcing teachers and parents to have a 2 to 3 minute drive-by conference, and without any consideration of parent work hours and travel. The disservice is a CPS official bragging about how the district will starve a neighborhood school for up to a decade before shutting it down, turning it over, or consolidating it with another school. The disservice is turning over neighborhood schools to politically connected education contractors like AUSL, which fires all the staff in order to change the culture, yet whose schools fare no better than regular neighborhood schools. The disservice is forcing students and teachers to be in the classroom for 9 consecutive weeks without a break to allow students time to adjust and reflect, and teachers and paraprofessionals to come together in professional development so they can strengthen their craft and better serve their students. Implementing so-called longer school days, which is a political slogan and not an education plan. Teachers and parents of the 13 pioneer schools are concerned about student burnout, exhaustion, and the fact that few of those schools, despite the bounties paid to their principals, have been given additional resources to ensure that their schools have a better school day. The real disservice is 160 schools with no libraries. The real disservice is misguided school discipline problems that target African American and Latino boys. The real disservice, 1,000 teachers laid off, tenured African American teachers being the first on the chopping block. REACH, CPS's new flawed and teacher-evaluated system that reeks, because if you spell it, that's what it really is. Principal bullying, district intimidation against activist teachers who stand up and fight for their students and their colleagues. And a 23% pay cut for teachers and paraprofessionals being asked to work longer days and do more with less and be held accountable for every failed CPS policy that is imposed upon our students. So contract negotiations are ongoing, and while they have been cordial, we are still very much far apart. And what does the school district propose? A 5-year contract with a 2% raise in the first year only. After that, all teachers and paraprofessionals will move into a merit pay system. Teacher evaluation to be based in part on student test scores, leading to teaching to the test. Longer school days and school year without professional development days, and decrease in preparation time, and additional resources for our students. The board has made no commitment to hiring qualified teachers to instruct in art, music, physical education, world languages, or other studies that will provide our students with a well-rounded curriculum and a world-class education. No commitments on increasing the wraparound services for students, including additional school nurses, social workers, psychologists, therapists, or audiometric and vision screening technicians who provide critical social, emotional, intellectual, and health services. The removal of language from the new contract that protects students and teachers from larger class sizes. Cuts in quality of life benefits, including eliminating banking sick days and increasing in wellness premiums. In addition, the board supports cuts to a variety of other things. Total gutting of the CTU contract, proposes reducing a well-thought-out comprehensive bargaining agreement to 20 pages. So the school Chicago students deserve are well-funded and well-resourced schools, smaller class sizes, a robust, well-rounded curriculum, in-school services that address their social, emotional, intellectual, and health needs. Protection and respect for everybody in the district, from students and their parents, who the Board of Education completely ignores unless it is to parrot their policies, and an effective and equitable public education system for all students. All 100%, not 75% of students, but 100% of students. And in the end, what we really want is what's best for our students. 400,000 plus children, whom we are pleased to be able to teach and help shape their young lives. I have never, in my 25 years teaching school in Chicago Public Schools, nor even when my parents, who both taught in CPS, I've never seen anything like this hostile climate that exists right now in my entire career as a teacher.